Welcome to this session on From the Social to the Biological. My name is Tony Robertson and I'm a lecturer in social epidemiology at the University of Stirling. To start off with, I was just going to give a little bit of an overview of who I am and the relevance to this topic that we'll be looking at today. So in terms of my background, I trained as what we call a behavioral ecologist. So essentially interested in animal biology, interested particularly in how animals' behavior is modified by the environments in which they live. Um, in 2010, I kind of moved into this idea of social epidemiology, whereby more focusing on humans. And again, still interested in how environments modify behavior, how environments modify the effects that that has on us, both sort of physiologically and behaviorally. But here now more looking in humans and more looking at the kind of the main determinant of the types of environments that we live in as humans being the social and economic environments. So this has led to two kind of main areas of research that I'm working on. First, how socioeconomic circumstances and the inequalities that are inherent within those socioeconomic inequalities, those socioeconomic circumstances in populations, how are they manifested biologically or physiologically across particularly multiple physiological systems? So across the whole body in particular is something that I'm interested in. The second area is around grassroots approaches to tackling health inequalities. So the first one is more around what is the problem, and the second is what are some of the initiatives, particularly from a bottom-up kind of approach, that we can look to tackle health inequalities, particularly including the role of things like community development and community resilience within that. In terms of the groups that I do this research within, at Stirling, I'm part of what's called the Environmental Sustainability and Human Health Group. So this is a broad group that looks at things like energy and water and different kind of environments that people live in and how that affects their health. And of course, my aspect brings in the sort of socioeconomic and the kind of inequality side of those environments, and then also looking at the kind of biomarkers in terms of people's human health. I'm also a member of the Social Survey and Social Statistics group at the university. This is a group that, again, a lot of this work that I do involves secondary data analysis. So tapping into studies that have already been collected from people and using that data, which has lots of social and health and biological information, and pulling all that information together to run some of the statistical types of models that I'm interested in. And then finally, I'm a co-lead for a group known as the Extremes in Science and Society program, and that links into the second research theme around community resilience and community development. This is an interdisciplinary group across the university with people across all the different departments represented, whereby we're interested in the extreme types of events and extreme circumstances in which people live, and the kind of adaptive processes that people and communities can develop and can go through in order to try and respond to some of those extreme circumstances.